Hey everyone!
Hi.
Welcome back to the channel. Oh my god, the universe did not want me to film this video. So much happened before we sat and hit record.
The spirits were working against you.
They don't want to hear my opinions about this movie.
They ain't ready for these hot takes.
But anyways, in this video we are watching the 1955 film 7 Year Itch starring Marilyn Monroe and, let me check.
Tom Ewell.
Tom Ewell. That's a weird spell. It's almost like Tom Mule, but it's spelled so weird.
Yeah. He's the same leading man from The Girl Can't Help It.
I know, I recognize that. You know, that's iconic. Got to work with both Marilyn and Jane.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that movie's only like 2 or 3 years apart, but honey, she aged like milk.
Wait, Jane Mansfield, was that 1953?
The Girl Can't Help It, I think it was like 6 or 5.
Let me look it up. Let's Google it. 1956 for The Girl Can't Help It.
Yeah, and he looked 7 years older.
He did. Wow, that's crazy.
Aging like cheese, that man.
All right, so let's talk about the main plot of this movie. It's simple. It's just about a man trying not to cheat on his wife while his wife is away with their son on a little vacation.
Yeah, basically he stayed behind to work, and as his wife put it, Daddy has to stay home and make money.
He does. So let's start about the intro. The intro's cute. Like the beginning tiles, the little pastel colors reminded me of when you go to Home Depot and try to pick out like a paint swatch.
Flamingo pink. Yeah, very that.
But the problematic part is just every old movie that I watch has a problematic part.
It's right in the beginning,
It's right in the beginning. It's a whole bunch of Native Americans, but if you look closely, they don't look Native at all.
They are not Native at all.
They are Caucasian people, really tanned.
Yeah, it's a problem. Like, what I think it's worse is that this is just a throwaway joke in the beginning. It has nothing to do with the plot
Nothing
whatsoever.
to do with the movie at all. So they could honestly just cut that out. But you know what? Different time, didn't age well. Kind of like when we started watching La India Maria, we started watching and we're like,
oh, yeah.
A lot of the stuff did not age well.
It doesn't hold up in some parts.
No. So yeah. So old movies are gonna be problematic in the new times.
Yeah, that's just the way it is. Yeah, basically they're setting up the plot, which is, men sending their families off to go on vacation in upstate Manhattan. So, like, basically they're in Manhattan. That's where this whole story takes place. And he is going home to basically not be tempted to cheat on his wife. And Tom Ewell has problems in this movie.
He has
he's got issues.
Issues.
Like, you got psychological issues, girl.
Because he has this crazy imagination where he just creates these scenarios in his head. Kind of like if you have that partner that has a dream about them cheating on you and then you're get mad at them.
Holy crap, his first vision he has is his wife sitting there on the balcony with him. She just imaginally appears there, and she's basically just like, you ain't gonna cheat on me. No one want you. And he's like, what, you don't know, girls want me. She's like,
And he started imagining his secretary falling in love with him, and in his mind that's reality.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this man didn't pass the evaluation check for RuPaul's Drag Race.
Girl, she would not pass the psych eval. Please go back to start. But what's funny to me is he's basically talked down to his wife in his own imagination, knowing damn well he's gonna wait on her phone call at 9 o'clock to check in on him. She don't even trust him there. And when she calls him, he finds out that she's in upstate New York with one of his work rivals that he doesn't like.
And then in his mind, she's already cheating on him.
So it justifies any action that he has. So as he grabs his coat and goes out, someone rings his buzzer. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to answer that door. And he's all mad about it because someone rang his doorbell to get let into the building. And when he opens the door, who should be there but Marilyn Monroe.
In this stunning white dress with little polka dots. It would have been cute if the polka dots were rhinestone or something.
Yeah.
But, this was her every day. And I was like, that was your everyday girl?
Right. The little gather on the hip and everything. It was cute. And she's so apologetic. And he's mad at first and then sees her and he's like, oh, this is going to be problems for me.
Mm-hmm. He's just like, ooh, he fell in love. Love at first sight, cheating on first sight.
Girl, it's completely I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to cheat. I'm going to cheat.
Yep. And then also he starts smoking cigarettes even though he was saying, oh, I'm not going to smoke cigarettes at all. And then right away after seeing Marilyn, it's started smoking cigarettes. Basically, Ed Sheeran, bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, girl, don't blame it on the girl. It's your bad habit.
For real, like, he has no self-control. He's like practically double fisting it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And like, first off, he like locks himself in his house because he sees it. He's like, oh no. Like this whole movie is him basically going back and forth on everything. So he goes to the balcony and just lays down to relax. And Marilyn accidentally knocks over a tomato plant and almost kills him.
Oh no, she doesn't knock it down. The wind or something knocks it down because she was like in the shower. It just falls down on its own.
Fate wants him to cheat, so it knocked it over so that he could interact with this girl.
And she's like all like topless. You can't see it because there's bushes. She's like, I am so sorry. How can I make it up to you?
And like this whole movie, you wonder like, is she flirting or is she just kind of ditzy?
Oh no, she was flirting. She's trifling.
Because like even then when she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'll pay for it. And he invites her down to his place because again, cheating brain takes over. And she's like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll bring down some champagne. I keep it in the icebox next to my underwear.
Like, girl.
Okay, girl.
She know what she was doing. Honestly, this Fox movie is giving me like early adult film vibes. Like that scene, whoever wrote that, they were fantasizing.
They had fantasies.
They had fantasies, and they're like, you know what? Marilyn is gonna fulfill them in this movie.
Not even that. Like she comes down and she's in a cute little pink number. And then she goes back upstairs to go get like champagne and potato chips. And when she brings it down, she's in a full gown.
Yes, like she was ready. She was ready to catch this man. You know, she had a plan all along. She wanted an air-conditioned apartment.
That was really what it was.
Because she doesn't have air conditioning in her own apartment, which is upstairs, where she lives with two other.
Oh, she's subletting.
She's subletting from two. What do they call it? Interior designers that live together, men.
No, like there's three people, there's three families, so it's his in the basement, the floor level, and then upstairs is the collectors of African artwork where she's subletting, and on top of that are two interior decorators.
That are men. So you know, we're interior decorators if you haven't caught the drift.
Just a couple of confirmed bachelors. Very that, but like we were onto her after a while because like she did come down and everything, and she's in a full little cocktail dress with a swing on it.
And basically she's saying how she doesn't have AC up there, and then I bet you she's caught that breeze down there, and she's like, oh no,
oh honey, this
apartment's gonna be mine this summer. Hot girl summer.
I didn't understand her logic because like she basically one thing leads to another, and they eventually embrace by accident, and she sees his wedding ring, and that excites her. She's just like, oh, you're married? That's perfect because married men won't make advances.
No, she got intrigued because she like SZA. She likes being the weekend.
That's it. Like the whole time she's like, it's like a back and forth. Like, is she just really dumb? Or doesn't understand the situations that she's in, or is she playing it all along?
She was playing him. But yeah, in this movie, Marilyn really does play like a ditzy blonde. She's like very flirty, very innocent. I say quotation innocent because I clocked you, girl. You wanted that apartment.
She knows what she needs to do in order, like how far to take it in order to get things that she wants. Because like she gets things fixed for her all the time. In some situations, you're just like, this is odd. Where she mentions how she was taking a bath and it was dripping, so she plugged it with her toe. So she had to call the super over to come get a plumber to come and fix the tub and get her toe out.
There's a scene in the movie where they're both playing pianos. They're playing chopsticks on the piano. And that's where Tom Yule, who's playing the character Richard, so I'm going to address him as Richard, that's where Richard makes a move on Marilyn and just like, it's like, I'm going to kiss you hard, basically. And it just goes into it, and Marilyn's like, wait a minute. And they both fall back.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, I am so sorry. I don't know what took over me. She's like, oh, it's fine. It happens to me all the time. And just wanted to continue hanging out. So she knew what she was doing.
She's like, she doesn't mind the advances from people apparently, but like, it's very bizarre the whole time. It's like, he will fully go into like a psychotic break.
Like where he starts imagining things.
His fantasy goes out of the way, and you're like, eventually, this is the modern day, you'd be like, oh, he's gonna kill her.
Basically, I'm like, girl, you're gonna end up in 2020.
It's like, Marilyn, you're gonna end up in the Manhattan River, okay? Like, you need to not get out of here.
I don't think she even has a name in this movie.
No, she's just the girl.
The girl. The girl.
It was like after he tries to kiss her and he apologizes and everything, like he goes to work and like goes into a really bizarre fantasy where he like basically worked up in his mind. she's going to tell everyone. She's a model, by the way, for toothpaste. And he's like, she's going to go on live television and tell everyone what a lech I am. And it's like...
And I think at one point she says, I'm going to have to kill her.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
What?
You down.
Extremes.
I'm like, there's no social media back then. You can just tell her to move to another city. Give her some hush money.
Right. Because she was just subletting. She's not be there forever.
Right.
But like...
Oh, and also Marilyn also shows... This is how I know Marilyn, or the girl in that movie, knew what she was doing. Because she sees they have a book, America's Pictures or something like that is the name of the book. United Pictures. And she like opens the page, like, oh, look, there is me. Basically, she was... They didn't show the picture, but they were insinuating that she was in the nude.
It's about textures. The ocean, the driftwood, and me.
Mm-hmm. Well, not in the nude. She was very revealing. Because they do show the picture later on. She was just in a bikini.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's just like, oh... That intrigued them even more. So I'm like, Marilyn.
Like, just when he was starting to get disinterested, he'd get reeled back in.
She reeled him back in so quick. She's like, oh, I'm going to get this apartment, girl.
Like, oh, I'm going to stay in this apartment. If your wife is out of town, I'm in this air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's a ground level apartment, so the tenant, like, the landlord boarded up the staircase that leads to the upper story. And eventually, she just pulls it up with nails and a hammer and comes down to his apartment.
And she's like, look, we could keep this going because Richard is just scared that they're going to notice that she's there and then they're going to basically ruin his marriage by starting a rumor. Yeah, Marilyn basically unnails the thing. She's like, oh, we could do this all summer long.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Marilyn.
Marilyn. But like the whole time he's being terrorized by the super who wants to come in and like clean out the rugs, basically to get moths away from them because his wife asked him to. And the entire time he's basically going on and on about how he's cheating, the super is. Like he's cheating on his wife and family. And he eventually catches Richard and sees that Richard's trying to stop him from coming in the apartment. And he looks over and sees Marilyn's legs like from behind the couch.
Trying to get her shoes. And then he's like, oh, they cheating. But then Richard just basically is like, oh, no, we're not. She's just here. She was about to leave, blah, blah, blah.
He gives him the whole what for, but even the super, you can tell, leaves knowing, like, oh, well, you cheating.
Mm-hmm, because they end up kissing.
They end up kissing.
And Marilyn does not even care. She just
like,
kisses him again, like, whatever, you're married already. You're not going to commit to me. That's all I want. She just wants to hit it and quit it.
This whole movie is just like, baby, I've done more for less. I just want air conditioning, okay?
Mm-hmm. Basically, she was basically hustling him for some air conditioning. And you know what? I don't blame you. If you got it,
she played him like a little kitty cat. And like, she even got his own bed. And he slept on the couch. She knew he wasn't going to do anything any further than that.
But yeah, she knew how to play him. And she played him.
And like, she could tell like, oh, I know I could work him to where he's going to go up north and join his wife. And he did.
Mm-hmm. So basically, we're going to skip right ahead. The guy who Richard thought his wife was cheating on comes into the house because he keeps forgetting to send over the paddle for his son to go on the kayak. So he comes all the way over to the house and wants to grab the paddle. And then all of a sudden, like, in all his imaginations, Richard thinks that this man is already messing around with his wife.
Yeah.
And basically punches him, knocks him out cold, and knocks him out cold on a speech where he says he's gentle and his wife loves him because he's gentle and shy, and that's so sweet because Marilyn planted that in his head.
Yeah, she was just like, because he mentioned to him like, oh, my wife would probably shoot me dead, in a really violent, like, imaginative scene where his wife does come with a gun and shoots him dead.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, well, I wouldn't blame her. I would do worse. I'd probably do even more. Like, she was twisting the knife, like, oh, I'm gonna get this apartment.
I know, but then also flirts with him like, oh, no, because Richard thinks like people are gonna go after the guy like the guy that he knocked out because he was like big, strong, a boss. But Marilyn's like, oh no, I need someone who's nice, quiet, and gentle, probably like you. Your wife must adore you. And that's when Richard just like re-says that to that man. It's like, no, my wife loves me because I'm nice and gentle. And then pops him and knocks him out.
Decks him, girl.
And poor old boy has to come in, the gardener, or whoever was the one picking up all these things from. The one that came in and picked up the tomato plant, which is the same guy. That's how they got out of it. Now you remember.
Yeah.
Because Richard's like, oh no, there was an accident. The tomato plant fell from the ground. Can you come pick it up, please? The one that saw Marilyn in there.
Mm-hmm.
So the same guy that picks up the tomato plant has to also take the guy he just knocked out of the building. And he was basically, oh my god, I can't wait till all the wives come back. this summer. So that's not the only drama he's been dealing with in that building.
Right.
So
I can only imagine what those gay guys on the top floor are doing right now.
Not even that. He's just basically mentioning all these men are trifling.
Yeah. All these men be cheating.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we learned from this movie is men be cheating. And if they're not cheating, they're thinking about cheating.
So yeah, at the end of the movie, I know we already jumped to the end, but it was just that simple. This movie was just simple. It had only like 3 sets.
Yeah, again, I leave this movie thinking, wow, so the straights haven't been okay since the 50s. Like, you know those gay guys on the top floor just sitting back like, look at these fools.
I know, that's what I thought was hilarious because then Richard told Marilyn to call his boss that he's going to take a 2-week vacation no matter what. And then Marilyn is like, okay, and then kisses him before he goes to his wife.
Just to make sure he won't come back.
Mm-hmm. And she's basically just going to chill in that apartment the whole summer. And I'm like, Marilyn, you trifling little girl.
You know it was a kiki in that apartment with those gay guys coming down. I bet you they all plotted it.
Right. The gay guys at the top. It's us. Like, Marilyn, you got to get this man, girl.
Marilyn, girl, you're going to get that apartment. All right, we'll help you. Here's what you do, okay? You won't even do that much.
You have to do that much. She's going to look at you, fall in love.
Mama, I'll make you a couture dress. It'll be great.
That's probably what happened. This is our alternative story, okay? The behind the scenes, what is it called when the director...
The director's cut.
When the director talks over it.
Because you know that was probably what was happening. It's like one's making her a dress, the other one's doing her hair.
Because her hair was always on point in this. And she looked really pretty, especially when she was retelling the lines of the toothpaste commercial that she has to do. And she's all like... And her eyes are squinting. When I saw that, I'm like, girl... Talia looks just like Marilyn.
Yeah.
Like, only Talia's brunette, but back when Talia used to act in, like, Maria del Barrio and all those other telenovelas she was in, she used to go like this all the time. And when I saw Marilyn do that, I was like, oh my God, that is Talia in blonde hair.
Talia down. And she even dressed up like Marilyn at one point for, like, a special on TV.
Yeah, but that was some synthetic hair, girl. Yeah. I'm pretty sure now, she still looks like her. Obviously, Talia's a little older now, but if you want to imagine how Marilyn will probably look if she made it to that age, go to Talia's Instagram and then just imagine her as blonde.
Yeah,
because Talia still looks young.
Yeah, she's got like the lips and the button nose and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, enough about Talia. If you don't know who Talia is, she's a Mexican actress and singer. And she's married to Tony Mottola now. So she don't need to work if she doesn't want to.
She does music as a hobby.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. That's the movie. Basically, in a nutshell, we obviously didn't get to all the scenes, but...
To be fair, this movie's plot was very thin.
It was very thin. Basically...
Marilyn made the best of it.
Yeah, Marilyn was SZA. She wanted the wife to be the 9 to 5, and she's the weekend.
My favorite is at the very, very end where he forgets to put his shoes on, and she's like, "Oh no!" She grabs the shoes and is like, out the window to him. Don't come back.
Right, which reminds me, that block, since it's a Fox movie, it reminded me of the block of The Girl Can't Help It when Jane had her little walking scene.
I think it might be the same set. It probably was.
It looked just like that block, and I'm like, are those stairs the same stairs? Was Jane Mansfield living in the same building?
I mean, Tom Ewell was in that building, and he was in the upstairs apartment, so maybe he just moved up after his wife divorced him.
Wow.
Alternate universe.
A year later, Marilyn moved out, and Jane walked in.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. Let us know what other movies we should watch. I think I want to watch some Raquel Welch movies.
Yeah.
I like a few. Because we did some Jane Mansfield movies. We got to go back to Jane Mansfield too, because I rented the Spanish dub of this one movie, and I kind of want to watch it in Spanish, and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
But yeah, let us know down below if you want me to watch any more iconic old Hollywood actresses down below. I know you guys have been mentioning Mae West. Latino's been mentioning Maria Felix. Just let me know down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay trifling, and until next time, deuces! And if we forgot any iconic scene in the movie, also comment down below.
Or watch the movie.
Oh no, the movie is actually a cute watch. Yeah. Marilyn Monroe is just there playing the ditzy blonde, which is cute. I've actually haven't seen her play this much of a ditzy blonde.
She's essentially like the sexy lamp in this movie.
Yeah, she's very airheaded in this one, which was cute. She really played the girl next door in this movie.
Yeah. The girl upstairs.
The girl upstairs. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Actually,
right.
We forgot one thing.
Probably the most important, or not important, but the most iconic scene in the movie.
That came out So the white dress with the flowing all over her. We forgot to talk about that. But that's because in this movie, it's not really that important of a scene.
No, it's literally just like a throwaway scene. After they go see the movie together, she just stands over a sewer grate, and the like subway grate makes the dress flare up.
I know, and they don't show like the whole picture. Like they made statues of this. Right now it's in Palm Springs. We first saw it in Chicago.
Yep.
And that picture is everywhere. But in the movie, they just show a below shot of the wind blowing her dress up.
And like you don't see anything more than like her kneecaps. But like this was used in all the advertising. They blew it up and put it on the side of buildings. Like it was a big deal.
And it's great. They did all that, but they didn't actually put the full frame in the movie. That's crazy.
Nope. And according to like old Hollywood stories, like this is all rumor, none of it's really fact. I guess they're saying that like there was no way for them to film it where they couldn't see hair down there.
Ah, okay. I could see it. Also, it's the 50s.
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting the full shot. But yeah, when I saw that, now I know where that reference is coming from. This movie, 7 Year Itch.
Yeah, and what an innocent time where a skirt blowing up was too risque to put on film. That's like nothing now.
But it's iconic. Look, it has statues right now in Palm Springs. If you're ever in Palm Springs, she's just chilling there.
Yep, the Marilyn statue now lives there for good.
Where she's like, with her dress blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it. I can't believe we almost forgot to talk about that.
Yeah, we had to put that in there, otherwise everyone would be like, why didn't you mention the dress? Now, this was actually kind of a controversial thing because she was married to Joe DiMaggio at the time, who was a famous baseball player, and he was invited to set when they filmed this. And he got so outraged that he actually punched out somebody, like after they made her film it like more than 10 times.
Wow.
And like it ruined her marriage after this. Like it was a real souring thing that like took place. And from what I understand, Marilyn did not like this at all, especially the advertising and everything. Like being blown up like that in this image was like cemented in her mind, like, oh yeah, I'm never gonna escape this. So yeah.
And girl, there's statues of you like that
she
now.
was pretty spot on. Like she will never escape it.
Because now there's like people in Palm Springs taking pictures like this.
Yeah, like you think about it,
looking up her skirt.
She would have hated that.
Girl. Well, that's it.
Yep.
That's the movie, 7 Year Itch. And because of this movie, now I know what the 7 Year Itch is.
Yep.
I was like, does someone have like an infection or something? A mosquito bite?
No, the 7 Year Itch is basically the man gets an itch to cheat after 7 years. He has an itch to scratch.
Wow. Or the woman. Or was it just the man?
I mean, maybe the woman too, because we don't really know if the wife cheated or not.
Because every time the boyfriend called, every time Richard called, she was with old boy.
Yep. So you never know.
Bye.
Bye.